Interactive learning here this afternoon, where we're going to be talking about sparking inspiration and saving time with Canva code and Canva's magic right. We're going to do a super quick, and I mean abbreviated, Canva overview for those of you who are ones and brand new to the whole Canva concept and ecosystem. We'll log in and then we'll talk about Canva AI and start creating and experimenting together. So Canva Education launched in 2019. We are used in almost 200 countries across the globe. We have 100 million students and teachers using Canva every month. And the thing we like to point out is we are truly 100% free for K-12 schools and districts. We really like to think about reimagining learning with Canva Education, because Canva is an interactive platform built truly for a K-12 classroom with everything you need to transform how you teach. Also have launched our Visual Suite 2.0. So again, that means that there's all of these different Canva document types or project types that you can create. And now you can have all of the different project types in one Canva project. So we're really excited that if you wanted to have a brainstorm for your students, as well as slides, as well as a video and a template brochure, you would be able to have all of those different project type pages in one Canva project. Let's dive in really quickly to preview Canva AI, and then we're going to get in and spend the entire rest of the time playing and creating together. So, some of you mentioned when I asked, have you all used any of Canva's AI features? A lot of you all mentioned potentially using Canva to generate images. So you can see this example here, a whimsical garden-like classroom, and then Canva could hypothetically come up with that AI-generated image for you. So when we're thinking about all of the workflow that you all have to do and all of the students that you support, their specific learning needs, as well as expectations from your specific administrators, district, state, and national level, it's a lot. And so we know that lesson planning shouldn't feel like this over here, and that hopefully some of Canva's embedded AI features could take some of that busy work and planning off of your plate so that you can get back to things that we all became teachers for, building those relationships with students, interacting, seeing their progress on particular projects, rather than kind of spending unnecessary amounts of time planning, prepping, all of that sort of stuff. We know that teaching and learning is evolving with AI. 60% of teachers are already using AI in their classrooms daily. So how could we potentially innovate with some of these embedded AI features in Canva? If you could open a new tab in your web browser, go to your district's Clever and access Canva Education via Clever and sign into your Canva account. Now, what I've created here today is what we call at Canva a learn and play. Essentially, I want to take you through some things and I want everybody to get their own copy of this. So I'm going to be sharing what we call a template link. You need to sign into your Canva account first, because if you're not signed in using your JCPS district email address, when you click on this, it's going to force you to sign in. Once you've signed in, I'm going to go to my share drop-down menu because I've created this, but I want everybody to get their own copy. I'm going to share via what we call a template link, and I'm going to say, hey, Canva, please create this template link for me. I'm going to copy it and paste it into our Zoom chat. Okay, so again, you have to log into your Canva account first. Yes, you can also go to canva.com in the top right, click login, and then you should be able to log in with your district email address. You should get to a landing page that says, hey, Amy made this template. You're going to scroll down. So again, you are not going to see this button down below if you're super zoomed into your web browser. That's okay. Scroll down, click view template, open in editor, and then you're going to get forced a copy of my slides that I made for us to play in today. So each one of you gets your own copy. And again, this is saving automatically in your Canva account, so you can always come back to these slides in the future. Now, for the entire rest of the session, I'm going to be demoing and playing And you can also follow along in your copy of the slides. Once I demo things, I will give you little bits of work time where I'll set a timer. So again, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. You can stay with me and watch on the Zoom screen as I demo things first, and then go to your tab with your Canva open with your copy of these slides, and then play and create as well. I am going to start with Magic Write, which is what we call Canva's AI text generator. Now, Canva's Magic Write is built on variety and multiple large language models. The amazing thing about this is that it's education specific. So when you log in with your Canva education account, the Magic Write that you are accessing, in addition, there have been educational guardrails added, as well as educational content. So what I mean by that is all Common Core state standards, all NGSS standards, as well as your Kentucky state standards have all already been uploaded into this model so that when you're asking for help, unit planning, lesson planning, coming up with creative ideas, brainstorming, all of those things, it is an EDU focus in terms of the text that is being generated. Could you confirm when you get a moment that Magic Write is turned on just for adults within your district?
No, it is actually turned on for students and adults.
All right, so we're going to be going over this and also be thinking about it from this dual lens perspective in terms of using Magic Write from your workflow perspective, and additionally, how you might be able to incorporate this into some student project and planning. We're going to hop to page number 3. So again, if you're following along on your copy of the slides, hop to page number 3. We've embedded just like a little cheat sheet here in terms of where you can find Magic Write in the Canva editor. So again, you have to have something open in the Canva editor in order to be able to access Canva's Magic Write. We really like going into Magic Write in what we call a Canva doc because it's more of an 8.5 by 11 kind of like word processing page. And if you're asking Magic Write to help you unit plan, that's a lot of text that would be really small on one slide. So again, in a Canva doc, you're never going to run out of room in terms of text being generated. However, in every other Canva document type on the right-hand side, it shows you how you can access Magic Write. On page 4, we've embedded some prompts that you could very easily copy and paste to get started with your Magic Write generation. And on page number 5, I'm going to just show you all kind of how to get started. Again, I'm going to demo and then I really want you all to play. So I promise I will go over this more than once, but on page number 5, you can tell in the bottom left-hand corner that this page is not a slide. It's actually that portrait style page, 8.5 by 11. We call it a Canva doc. So when you put your cursor underneath this banner across the top, it's not going to work if you try to click in the banner. You have to click under the Kelly Green banner on page number 5. Put your cursor there and you can either hit this Magic Write button in the top left, or you could hit this addition sign button that appears and hit Magic Write that way. Or if you like keyboard shortcuts, it's backslash, and then the menu will appear and you can select Magic Write that way. So again, there's 3 ways to access Magic Write in a Canva doc on page number 5. I, however, am going to go back to page number 4 and I'm going to copy just by highlighting this text, hitting Control C on my keyboard, bringing my cursor back now on page number 5 underneath the green banner here and selecting the Magic Write button in the left-hand side of the horizontal toolbar. Now I'm going to hit Control V on my keyboard and paste that prompt that I just selected. And I'm going to say create a list of 10 creative summative assessment project ideas using Canva and hands-on activities for, let me sub out this grade level, 3rd grade students. Animal adaptations. Be sure to describe project options in text at a third grade level. So then I'm going to hit this purple kind of arrow in the bottom right of the Magic Write prompt box. Canva, again, is going to assess your prompt and then therefore generate text based on what you've specifically asked for. So a few things when it comes to no matter what AI text generator you're using, please be as specific as possible. Your outcome is only going to be as good as your input. So if your input is super vague, the text that's generated is probably also going to be vague. So a lot of times you need to include grade level. What is the purpose of this? Is it to introduce a concept? Is it a summative assessment? Is it a formative assessment? Is it sentence stems to do a free write? Like whatever it is, you need to specify it. If you know a standards code, I don't have this NGSS standards code memorized, but it's a third grade NGSS standard. You could also copy and paste it. Once the text is generated, whatever your prompt was, you could also say more like this. You could say this, but actually give me a list of 20 project ideas. If you like it, you can hit this purple insert button, and then it will insert it right into your doc on page number 5. So if you have the Learn and Play open, I want you to practice, put Magic Write to the test, ask for icebreaker ideas, ask for gamified lesson ideas, ask for it to come up with a choice board. You can even have it come up with rubrics for these summative assessment projects. So again, there's no limit. I want you all just to dabble and play. So I just kind of want to show you all, again, I came up with 10 creative project ideas, some in Canva, some on more like hands-on activities. Then I had Canva's Magic Write come up with a project plan specifically for my third grade students, chunking this into feasible steps that they could do in 5 days to work on this summative assessment. And then I thought, ooh, you know what? It's probably going to take my students at least 2 or 3 days to research. So maybe I need to change this to more of like an 8-day project plan. So I went back and I said this, but turn the project plan, stretch it out to 8 classes, and be sure that the text is appropriate for third grade students. And now I have kind of my project plan breakdown. The thing I was going to do next is to have it create a rubric for this project. So I really wanted to show you from like beginning to end of an idea when it comes to brainstorming, and then actually coming up with project guidelines, directions, expectations, the rubric. Like Magic Write can help you do all of it. Beyond generating text, I want to show you that Magic Write can help you also refine text. Okay, so what I mean by that is you could, write a phrase, you could write a beginning of an email, you could start a plan, a lesson plan, whatever it is, and then you can have Magic Write either edit it or expand upon it or refine it. So I want to show you that aspect, which is like an added bonus to the fact that it generates text from scratch as well. So if you could stay with me and just watch on my screen. So I'm going to demo here real quick. All I'm going to do is put my cursor again on my Canva doc. I just entered down a few lines because I like to see like a visual separation here. But I'm going to say something like, explain the importance of animal adaptations. So this is like a very vague prompt, right? In Canva, again, any existing text, you can either click and highlight it or click on a text box. And in the floating toolbar up above, you're going to see this blue Magic Write pencil with the stars icon. So again, you're going to type in anything, a short phrase, a dear family, like start a email, whatever it may be. Click on this Magic Write pencil with the stars, and I'm going to say, hey, Magic Write, continue writing on this idea for me. So it's going to continue writing. And I'm like, oh, this is great. But do you know what would be even better? If this text that was generated is leveled for my specific students' reading levels. So again, I could highlight this text, and again, I'm highlighting the text I want Magic Write to kind of like assess and then change. And in my floating toolbar, I'm going up to the blue pencil with the stars. And this time I could say transform text, which allows me a custom prompt. And I could say rewrite this text at a 550 Lexile level for my third grade students. And again, to submit or hit enter, you're hitting this like purple arrow here. Now, if I hit the replace button, it's going to remove my original. So I'm going to hit this button add below, and then I can do the same thing. I could go back to this original text and do the same thing again, highlight, magic write, transform, rewrite this text at a 1100. So now I can level text. I can have it expand upon text. Again, I'm adding this below. And now I have different options in order to I started from just a phrase, and Canva kind of helped me expand beyond that. Yes, in the future, when you open, again, you can only access Magic Write when you have a project open. You're not going to see Magic Write on the Canva homepage. Now, you do not have to do Magic Write in a doc, but again, it makes it super easy when you have lots of text being generated. You could open a blank presentation or slide. If you refer back on page number 3, every other Canva design, you can go to the text tab or your Canva Magic Assistant. So I could go to text, Magic Write is here, and my Magic Write prompt box will appear here. So again, yes, every other Canva project type except for a Canva doc, you can go to the circle with the stars in the bottom left to access Magic Write, the text tab, but again, you have to have a project open in order for Magic Write to appear as an option. We're going to kind of transition next into translating our text. Oh, great question. The way that your students are set up is that every student, even if they've never logged into Canva before, is automatically generated an account. So when they access via Clever, it should push them through this SSO pathway to just pop into the Canva homepage, because your district has provisioned everybody with an email address in the district to get a free Canva education account. Let's hop to the next page, Canva Magic Translate. Okay, we're hopping to page number 6 because, again, any text that's generated or that you write in Canva, Canva can also translate it into over 140 other languages. Okay, so on page number 6, the workflow is here. So when you have a project open in the Canva editor, you are going to find Canva's Translate on the left-hand sidebar underneath your apps. If, when you look at your left-hand sidebar, you do not see apps, please don't stress. It just has to do with your resolution within your web browser. It has nothing to do with your Canva account. So when you see my left-hand sidebar, do you see how I don't see apps here? I just need to scroll down. So I just put my cursor over the left-hand sidebar and then I'm scrolling down, and now I can find the apps tab on the left-hand sidebar. Now, you could type in translate, but what I'm going to do is just scroll past these other third-party apps that are being showcased, and I'm going to go to this section, more from Canva. So this is made by our Canva team. It's the same terms and conditions, all kinds of really easy, seamless things to be able to add to your designs. So again, left-hand sidebar, select apps, scroll past whatever is being featured to more from Canva, and you're looking for this Translate app here. Now, once you come into the Translate app, you're going to see that you can begin to type in any language. Hopefully, the language you're looking for is there. A lot of our languages now also have tone of voice options, so depending on who your audience is, you can change the tone of the translation. You can also translate whole pages or just certain text boxes within a page. And in one click, you could translate all the pages in a design or just certain pages. So for the sake of time, I'm only going to do this current page, page number 6, into my desired language of Arabic. I'm going to hit translate. And now you can see I have this translate page now in Arabic. The other thing that I love is that when you translate across languages, to say the same thing, it might be a few more words or it could be way less words, right? Canva will automatically resize the text when it's translating. So hopefully, I know it's not perfect, but like 95% of the time, the text, you don't have to go back and reformat text boxes because in order to say the same thing in a different language, it takes 10 more words, and now your text box is all wonky. It should resize that text automatically for you. So you can see here, even though this was translated to Arabic, all of the text is staying within the design box here that I originally had in English. So again, I have a little tip here. If you want one copy of your project all in English, and then you want another copy of your project all in the translated language, what I would do, and that's this tip down here in this kind of like ombre rectangle, I would go up to File. I would make a copy of my project when I was done making edits, and then I would do the same thing. I would go to my left-hand sidebar in my copy, go to Apps, go to Translate, find my language, and then I want to go to Settings and deselect Duplicate Page when translating. Then I would just click all of the pages in my design, and I would translate the whole thing. So now I would have one copy in English and one whole other copy in the other language rather than going English, Arabic, English, Arabic. Again, kind of like it depends on what you're looking to do, but that's why I had the directions here of how to make a copy and then deselect duplicate page when translating so that it just translates into the new language. Yep, so just select apps. And then you could type in translate at the search up here. But what I was saying is just scroll past whatever Canva's kind of highlighting. So again, I'm in the apps, but just scroll past whatever is being kind of previewed. And you're going to come to this section of the app library called More from Canva. That's what you're looking for. And that's what we have over here, More from Canva. And then you just want to hit this translate button and then play around with the translate feature there. We're going to hop into one of Canva's newly launched AI features, which I'm really excited to kind of showcase. And then I want to give you all some more playtime. So if you hop to your next page, we're going to go into Canva Code next. If you're wondering, I included tons of pages here about Canva Code. Remember, these pages, this project you opened is yours. So you can always come back to this. So it will be in your Canva projects on your Canva homepage. But Canva Code is now allowing educators to create their own custom interactive widgets to have students play around and have interactive activities in your classroom that are customized to your classroom, your tone of voice, your vocabulary, everything. And you do not need to know how to code. So on the page that kind of has this bright red background, mine is page 10, but that's because I translated a page. Yours might be page 9. But you could have Canva Code create an interactive timeline, a timer, vocab matching game, drag and drop, interactive flashcards, sorting, interactive map, all kinds of options here. On page 11 or 10, it's kind of showing you that we have pre-made kind of coded options. And then again, just like when we were playing with Canva Magic Write, it is really important that when you're creating your Canva code formula, that you are very specific. So you want to add in what do you want to create, plus what do you want the widget to do, plus the style of a widget. So you can see an example down below. Again, remember, I'm showing you my screen, but you have these slides too, so you can always come back to them. Create a timer for my year 5 classroom. Have confetti rain down at the timer's end. Make sure it is also accessible. Include the colors blue, yellow, and white. Make it feel like a cartoon. And the really cool thing is once you create these different Canva codes, you can go back and revisit them in the future. So again, you could have confetti, you could make it accessible by having read aloud options, you could have a progress bar, you could have different levels of the challenge. Again, these are slides you can refer back to, but now I'm going to demo this live. I'm going to open a new tab. I've already logged into my Canva account. So in my web browser, I'm just typing canva.com and I'm coming to my Canva homepage. When I'm on my Canva homepage, in order to access Canva Code, I need to select this button on the right-hand side, Canva AI. Then I put my cursor in the prompt box down below. And when you click code for me, there's all kinds of pre-selected kind of drag and drop match memory matching games, or you can write your own custom prompt. So remember, you want to think about what do you want to create? What features do you want it to have? And be specific. So let me show you something that I kind of created a little bit ago. I wanted to have a way to select students that wasn't a spinner. Like we all love a spinner, but sometimes we need something different. So I was like, how could I engage my students? They would know that one of my favorite snacks is popcorn. And so I was like, how fun would it be if I created a popcorn machine where I could click a button, it would pop a kernel, and then each kernel would be associated with a student's name rather than just a spinner. Spinners are great, but we use them a lot. So I'm going to say create an interactive drag and drop. So again, like in the Magic Write prompt box, I'm going to hit this purple submit arrow in the bottom right. Now I know that was a really long prompt, but the really cool thing is you can have a conversation and go back and forth. So the first time you prompt, I promise you it's not going to be exactly what you want to use. Unfortunately, you are going to have to probably refine your prompt a bit. The other cool thing is if you are in a computer science or coding or technology classroom, this is an awesome way for students to start and get foundational code, because once this all codes, students can copy the code and then they could paste it and they could go in and custom edit from there.